Hey ladies, it's Steph, and we're back for another Pintastic video this week. It is May 24th today, and we're going to be looking today at a couple different things, and we'll see how much we can get through in the time we have. And then what I can't get into the 15 minutes will spill into probably a second video if we need it. Today we're going to be talking about any Pinterest updates and the current events that I could find online for you guys. And then we're also going to be looking at taking some time to evaluate your goals from a couple months ago when we first started. We're definitely almost halfway through the year here into June next month. So it's been about 5 months since we really got rolling with this. Actually, 6 for those of you that were with me from the very beginning. And so we're going to be looking at your mid-year goals. And so the first thing we're going to do today is just I'll quickly review some of the Pinterest news I could find. I did listen to the one podcast from one of my favorite Pinterest websites with Cynthia Sanchez, and this week was more about scammers on your blog post or on your I'm sorry, not your blog post, scammers on your Pinterest pages. And I don't think that right now we have too much to worry about with that, but just be careful of anybody that might be looking like their profile's a little sketchy, that's trying to either get on one of your group boards or repin a ton of your stuff. You just have to be kind of careful with that. So but I didn't feel that it fit into our niche very well, and I don't want to spend too much time on that. So I guess you've probably noticed, if you haven't already, I think most of us have switched over now, or Pinterest has switched us over to the new format, which I personally don't like. I think it's much harder to find your pins, and it's much harder to pin. You used to just have to press the plus sign right here to add a pin, but now you have to go to your profile name, come down and add a pin from this site. And this is kind of where all of those nice quick tools were before. Now they're all under your profile picture and name here, which to me is just one more step I really didn't need. As you can see, they have completely switched Pinterest to a search feature, which we did talk about in the last video. So if you didn't watch that, go back and watch about how now you really need to be specific in your descriptions, meta descriptions, always making sure you're using keywords that are very specific to what your pin is about. So today I was pinning for Memorial Day. We have a more patriotic looking strawberry, chocolate covered strawberry. And so when I repinned it today, now I've already pinned this pin before last year, but when I pinned it again today, I was using descriptions, like Memorial Day recipes or holiday recipes, things like that. Whenever I was, writing out my title or my description, I'm sorry, of the pin, that's what I was using. So now we have the search feature up here that brings up some suggestions and also the things that we've recently been searching for, which I, again, think is good for us if we're really specific. But in a way, it's kind of, I guess what they're finding is that Pinterest, people are searching on Pinterest almost even more than Google for certain recipes and things like that. It's becoming a more searchable tool. So I do think that we're headed in that direction. So if you go to home really quickly, that's your feed. That's where you find the stuff that you want to pin. If you go to categories, obviously you can explore pins by categories. Another way they're making things more searchable. So take a look at what's on here and use these pin names or these descriptions like outdoors, photography, in your comments and even on your tags and things that go on your board. Using these descriptors as specifically as you can, not only on your pin descriptions but your board descriptions, and anywhere you can enhance SEO on Pinterest. And like I said, then you come over here, your analytics, your settings, your profile, everything's over under your profile picture now. And now you have your notifications on the right side. And then here Kara's invited me to one of her boards, but then more invitations will show you more boards that you've been invited to. And this is where you accept or ignore your board invites. So again, still having an incredible hard time with anybody seeing anything that I pin to a group board, unless it's an extremely active group board or it's a time of day where that board is extremely active. Weekend nights seem to be, and sometimes weekend mornings as well, seem to be my best times for getting repins on different boards. But again, I have gone back and started deleting myself off of boards where I don't feel that I'm getting enough repins from things. So recently I did do a post on pet and flea tick repellent that you can do at home. Here you can see The Women's Day board, Your Best Do-It-Yourself Projects, used to be my #1 repin. Can't get anybody to repin anything on that board anymore. It is a mess. I'm actually debating getting off of that board completely for the Women's Day board because nothing that I put on there gets repinned. I think they have too many followers and it's just ridiculous. So you can see, but if I do something to a smaller, my own boards, I'm getting, decent repins, not completely where I want them, but still getting decent repins on my own boards. So I'm pinning to my own boards more than one time a day if it's content that I really want to get out fast. So I did the flea and tick twice yesterday to my do-it-yourself frugal lifestyle board, and I got 9 repins the first time and 7 repins the second time. Still nowhere near where we were 6 months ago, but I'll take what I can get right now. So I think that Pinterest is still viral. I think that it's still a great option. And even here on my pets board, it had 14 repins. Sorry, my board kind of got jerked around there a little bit. So what I'm saying is, if you, I think for each of us, it's probably similar, but yet it may be a little bit different. Just do what works best for you right now. I mean, if you're finding that there's a group board that works really well for you, then go with it. If you find that your own boards are doing better for you, then go with that, because you really want to make sure that that you're pinning where you're getting the most effective results. And so also pinning throughout the day. Do not do marathon pins anymore. You're going to clog feeds and just annoy people. Make sure that you are pinning, sporadically throughout the day. I keep my phone with me. I keep my iPad with me. If I'm at the doctor's office waiting, this baby is due in 13 days after today. It'll be 12 days, by the way. So I take it with me wherever I go, and I just pin from wherever I am at the time. And so I think that's something that is really beneficial, to make sure that you're pinning throughout the day. And again, pinning other people's stuff to your own boards, pinning your own stuff at high traffic times. You want to kind of slow down and pin your own content to your own boards if that's what's effective for you. If that's not what's effective for you and pinning to other people's boards, group boards is more effective, then you're going to want to do only your own content to those group boards. The only, during high traffic times. What I'm trying to say is, you don't need to pin other people's stuff to group boards. Group boards are for your content only. That all you're doing is trying to get, your content out across many viewers in that feed for that board, and that's why you're pinning your own stuff. You don't need to be pinning other people's stuff unless you want to pay it forward. That's fine. That's a different thing. But like I said, you want to make sure that you're pinning your own stuff to the group boards and then doing a mix to your own boards. And if you're getting a lot of repins off your own content on your own boards, then pin your own content at high traffic times to your own boards, and don't do any marathon pinning during that time. Maybe do 3 or 4 pins at a time, including one of your posts in amongst those other 4, total of 4 pins, maybe at the most. So with that being said, we're going to do a 6-month evaluation. What I want you to do is, I want you to get out your goal sheets from when we started, take a look at how many followers you had, take a look at how many followers you have now, see how much you've grown. But I want you to be honest and realistic with yourself about how much time you're putting in each day to pin. And also, have you done, if you're really, new and you started with less than 1,000 followers, how many giveaways did you do to boost yourself up over that first 1,000 or 2,000? And then how much pinning are you doing consistently? Have you worked on your boards? So there's a kind of a checklist we want to go through here. The first question is, number 1, did you convert to a business account? Number 2, have you worked on your boards, giving them great looks, great titles, optimize them for SEO purposes? We're going to come and take a look at my boards real quick here. Like, as you can see, I have the bestofdebtfreespending.com, where I put all my, what I feel is my best content. I have a debtfreespending.com TV, because from one of the other videos that I'm heavily working on building my YouTube subscribers. That's where all my TV and YouTube episodes go. Deals, coupons, and sweeps. So as you can see here, I've tried to give each board a creative cover, as well as trying to pin. I'm still always trying to work on pinning as diversely as I can to each of my boards, including most of my boards first, and then the group boards at the bottom. You can see that almost all of my boards are at the top, and then I have, as you go down farther, spread in the group boards here and there. So what you want to do is make sure, have you Like I said, do you have your website listed up here? Have you done all that? Were you verified? Do you have you been pinning every day? Have you joined, like I said, have you joined some giveaways? Be realistic with yourself. And I want you to set second half of year goals right now. I want you to start thinking about what are your goals for Pinterest for the second half of the year. Many of you know that my goal at the beginning of the year was to reach 20,000. Well, I may have to adjust that because at the beginning of the year, I was definitely on track to reach 20,000 followers. And right now, I'm at a point where, because Pinterest is changing so many different things, and I haven't, because I'm very pregnant, I haven't been able to pin as much. So I don't know necessarily. I definitely have reached, a halfway goal there because I think I was like around 14,000 when we started this group. So yes, I've come up, close to 4,000. Should I be able to make another 2,000 by the end of the year? Yes, I probably should if I do enough giveaways, if I do enough Pinterest pinning, if I keep, my boards looking good. But again, all social media can change at the drop of a hat. So we just have to be real. I want to be realistic about what my goals really should be for the second half of the year here, and also because I'm flying solo right now on my blog. I don't have any VAs right now. I'm still trying to post deals and coupons and get all that stuff done and then still do my pinning, which is not where I was 6 months ago. I was able to focus on Pinterest a lot more. I had the time, people were doing the other posting for me. So I've had to switch some of my goals out, and that's okay because that's the way life goes in a business. So make sure that you're setting up some goals for the second half of the year. Go back through some of the video listings that we've done since the beginning and decide where you want to focus and where you think, you really need to spend your time. If all you can get done is just pinning every day, then do just that. Decide how much time you can spend on Pinterest and pick one goal. If you can't do anything else, just pick one goal. Again, if you're under 1,000, I highly recommend just doing a couple giveaways to get some followers and then start pinning your content. And I really think that will help kind of get you over that initial bump of finding followers to pin your stuff. I mean, that's really what you want, is you want people to be pinning your content. Right now, I would definitely say that Pinterest is 90% of my traffic. I get most of my traffic from Pinterest. I have behind that are my direct visitors, people that just come directly to the website, and then Facebook, and then Google, because I've never been real big in the search engines, even though I work on SEO. I just, for some reason, I don't know if in our niche it's saturated, and I kind of got started late. I'm not sure why, but either way, most of my traffic right now, 90%, or not 90, but like 80% of my traffic is coming from Pinterest right now. So you definitely want to keep moving in this direction and setting up realistic goals for the second half of the year. So we're going to kind of end this video here, but please tune in especially if you do any recipes to the next video, because I'm going to be talking about some different things with that. And then once you've done your goals for the second half of the year, don't be afraid to share them in the group. I really want us to be more interactive with sharing our goals and really looking at what our second half of the year is going to look like on Pinterest and seeing how far we've come. Not that I want to make any more work for you, because I know you're all really busy, and so am I as well. But just if you get a chance, maybe throw a goal out there and just, kind of state it, and then you'll know that, it'll kind of help put it as a vision in your mind a little bit more too when you see it in writing. So hopefully you guys are having a good week. Hopefully you like the new layout better than I do. And let's take a look at second quarter. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.